to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of The Rational Investor. This is Julian reporting in baby size, as you can see in the corner right here. And over there on the other side, we have a wild Sjord who doesn't have a green screen. Unfortunately, he's not as cool. Not as cool as me. Doesn't have a green screen. However, where it counts, Sjord is better. He is the master at Crypto FA. As you guys know, I'm blessed to be joined by him here with his, you can see I have the Sony headphones. Sjord's got the Apple ones, so we can tell if you look up the price difference, you could tell who's doing better in crypto right now. But here we're going to start talking about the S&P first. Sjord's going to jump in whenever he feels like it. Sjord, do you want to say anything to everybody listening out there?
Well, after such an intro, what's more there to say? I think you're definitely the smarter investor, going for the more cheap headphone and saving the money to invest more in these FA coins while we're in this crazy bull run. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But I will jump in and have something to add. Let's see how that goes.
Okay. All right. Sjord might be a little bit quiet during the but the analysis of the legacy old man markets. But once we get to crypto, you know who's going to take over. Okay. So let me pull up. We've got a couple things we're going to talk about today. You guys know my normal spiel. I always talk about reverse repo first. We check that. Nothing's really happened with reverse repo the past month. It's just kind of stagnating around $400 billion for some reason, which, isn't a surprise because if we look at my little liquidity chart, look at how liquidity is kind of paused. We did have a brief bump up at the end of February, but nothing's happened in March. We're stagnating again, which is interesting considering it's basically followed the market the whole time, except for now, right? Look at that. Look at the big difference. I mean, the market's just taken off and liquidity is just sitting there. So interesting to see that liquidity is not really following along with this rally. Something has to give here at some point. I'm keeping my eye on this, but this is an absurd rally. I mean, you guys don't need me to tell you that. I mean, everybody knows that this is complete absurdity. We do have some interesting W's that came in down here when we first broke out. I think it's good to look back at these weekly charts and try to kind of line up the levels to see where did chaos kind of take off. So we could say here, this is our lineup and 2.618 was here, and we're actually tagging 4.669 right now. This was our level basically right here at 5,200, or we could go for the more extreme one, right? Like this all the way out here and say 1.618 was here. 2.618, actually, this is not, I want to bring 2.618 was about there. 1.618 was in this area, and 4.669. We're just hitting the 3.59, and 4.669 is up here at 5,600. So those are kind of the two levels. Question is, are we topping now or are we topping at 5,600? Well, I'm not sure, but what I do know is that every time we get a 7, 8, and 9 in the market, it's a warning sign. And oh, by the way, it's also a warning for crypto because they're kind of, connected now, the Bitcoin ETFs. I think if the market goes through any kind of serious pullback, I think we'll also see pullbacks in crypto. That's my biggest concern that I think a lot of people in the crypto community are not paying attention to, is the risk of a market pullback event that will affect crypto. In my opinion, crypto is just almost just like a leveraged version of the traditional market. So you have a 9 here. That's a big concern for me. And the market's just stagnating up here. The RSI is just stagnating up here. Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit off kilter because we're doing it like with Sjord here. And I'm going through the Zoom and we're using Video Ninja. Usually I just run the OBS and control everything. So I'm a little bit off my normal routine. But hopefully you like the better lighting. I think the lighting is much better now than in my old place. I'm in the new condo. You guys don't really see it because I have a green screen, but I have a lot more space here, so it's nice. The weekly chart is just straight up, right? Completely overbought. If we go back to sentiment, right? Where is sentiment? We always talk about sentiment. Sentiment is at 51.6%. I'm surprised this didn't update. I guess it updates on Wednesday or Thursday. So 3/6. So it updates on Wednesdays. And normally I do the show on Thursday, but Brian doesn't have any power today. So Sjord and myself are doing the show today, and Brian's going to do it tomorrow. So we didn't get an update since last week. So it'll be interesting to see, but this is extremely bullish sentiment, almost too bullish. But we've seen that, historically, if we go back to the sentiment data, right, we've had a lot of these bullish sentiment data points where in December, for example, we had that very high bullish sentiment. And if we go back and look at what happened there, December 13, right here. So this was your very bullish sentiment, December 13th, December 20th. And you see how we had that pause until that bullish sentiment evaporated. And then we took off and went higher again. So maybe we'll see something like that where you get kind of something like this, and then the market can either push higher or we get the real pullback finally. But the daily chart, so we've got a 9 in the daily chart. You've got overly bullish sentiment, and you have an RSI that's just simply never pulled back. Unfortunately, there is no real divergence here. This could keep going higher. As far as momentum indicators are concerned, there's nothing stopping this from moving higher. So the only thing I'm basing it on right now is the 9 and overly bullish sentiment. It's just more like a warning. I'm not saying jump out of all your stocks, but this is a warning sign that we could get a serious, not a serious, but a decent pullback, possibly down to the 5,000 area. That would be a likely first stop area. If we go back here to options, what are we seeing for options on this Friday? Normally, I like to do it on Thursdays because that'll give you more accurate data. But it's interesting to see the massive amount of calls here. Look at these calls. 97,000, 93,000. That's a lot. That's a lot of calls. And then at 510, we've got 50,000 puts. So where's max pain? 51.50. Where's the market right now? 51.70. Where do you think they'll want to close it going into that this end of week closeout right down here? 51.50. They're not going to go. I don't see them going below 5,100 because they're going to run into this huge put wall. So this is max pain right here, 51.50. The market could do nothing until the end of the week, while Bitcoin continues to just march higher. As long as the market's doing nothing, I don't think Bitcoin's going to be affected too much. It's if we get that massive pullback when I'm going to see issues with Bitcoin. Another one, NVIDIA, I'm paying close attention to. NVIDIA had a big pullback the other day, right? 11%. It was huge, but it's not looking good here. I want to get rid of. I was experimenting with a new RSI, but I didn't like it. Get rid of that. Still bullish, of course. Still bullish. We're still above my heuristic trend channel, but we're running into a little bit of divergence here. A little bit of turbulence. Weekly's still way up, but the 3-day starting to break just a little bit. We've got a 7 coming in here, and this daily not looking great. I need to see a breakdown on this RSI uptrend for me to really get bearish. But if we keep going lower, 4-hour doesn't look too great. And I could see a pullback here, especially to fill this gap all the way down here at 700. But if that happens, the rest of the market's going to break. So I don't expect it to happen this week, but it's something I'm watching. This is the first time since we took off from 480 that we have any kind of significant like hitch, like the NVIDIA is not too happy. No BB disbelief rally. Yeah, maybe we will do a show sometime together. Hello everybody, by the way. I'm looking at your comments now. 3 years of it doesn't break this rally, it never will. MDT, 3 years of, I don't know what MDT is, DMAC. So that's NVIDIA. I'm looking at possible shorts in NVIDIA, but after being burned like 2 times before, I'm a little bit cautious.
With NVIDIA, I think everyone is watching that event that's coming up for NVIDIA. Aren't they doing their big tech event on the 18th?
Oh, yes, there is a big, yes, that's true. I totally forgot. I read about it. 5 hours ago, and I completely forgot to mention that. See, this is why I need Fjord here to mention the fundamentals. So March 18th, going to be an extremely volatile week. That's concerning. The fact that this is topping out makes me think that maybe the tech event news, in my opinion, and Fjord, maybe you agree or disagree, but in my opinion, news comes out to give the market excuses to move. So maybe we get a huge pump on that news that grabs all the shorts liquidity up above, above 1,000. It's got to tag 1,000, right? That's what I'm looking at. Possibly a tag of 1,000. They grab the huge amount of liquidity up there, and then they can dump it finally.
Yeah, so it's a multi-day. It's a multi-day event, and the CEO is opening with a keynote, and that's around like 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. something like that. So then the market is still open. So that I think might be telling. And if you then
potentially
would trends, and the same goes for Render, which is heavily tied in the community to NVIDIA. So I think Render will move as well on that day, based on that NVIDIA conference.
Well, speaking of that, then let's look at Render. Oh wow! So Render also looks like it's topping out. This is a major divergence here. Do you see this between RSI and price?
Yep.
That's moderately concerning. Are you concerned about this at all? I mean, we also have a 7 coming on the weekly chart.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess it depends. Like if they can squeeze in some Render logo on that NVIDIA conference during the keynote, then Render will go crazy, of course. But I mean, everyone is hoping there's some mention of Render during this conference. But if there isn't any mention, I could see this be very volatile and dump right back below 10 at 8-9 level.
Oh, you broke up for me.
So,
what
sorry. Did I broke up?
Yeah.
So if there's no mention
that's the support level I have, $8. How much is that as far as You're breaking up for me. I'm not really hearing you. I think there's an issue.
Yeah. And he's gone. So who's breaking up with who? Ha! yeah. Let's see. I believe it's this one. So let's see where we were at the NVIDIA chart, and I can also give my 2 cents while he's gone. Got all the floor by myself. So I have to talk quick before he returns, and he does agree with some of my analysis. But what I'm seeing is that this entire time, basically from the start of this year, there really was over, or still is overbought. But I always like to see the really in perspective with how my RSI bands are acting. And like you see here, it's just humming along, basically. We're not at the top end of the range. We're not at the bottom end of the range. We're just sitting almost in the middle. It's a bit concerning that we did a small bounce up to that mid-level of my RSI band, and then are going down again now. There's this huge gap indeed. But for me, I'm not taking a short here, but I would definitely be not taking any new positions in either NVIDIA or Render in this case. I think the event, everyone is talking about it. I think it will be very telling and very volatile around that event. So I will definitely not touch it. I don't know what other fundamentals Julian had planned to talk about.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Oh,
hello.
There he is. Oh, back to English.
Okay. For the record, I don't think my internet went out. Somehow the Zoom call just closed. I don't know why. So that's what happened. I think I deleted it. I don't know. I exited. Who knows? Okay. So you were talking about Render. What did I miss?
Not much, but you should talk nicely about Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, else your connection might just collapse again.
So what does he control in Thailand? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. Apparently, he can shut down meetings, but I didn't really.
I guess so. Is my video feed not there either? I don't see myself in the left-hand corner. My video feed is not there. Let's try my link again.
Sure
that's not acceptable. Here. I need to be. Yeah, it's an impersonator.
See how powerful this render with AI
Chris,
is?
do you? Yeah, I can tell. Well, hopefully it keeps going up. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll see. I see Brian. Nice one, Kevin. Oh yeah, no.
36 people watching. This is crazy. I've never had this many people. I want to have Sjord on more. Sjord, you're very popular.
Yeah. Oh, 25.
Normally I get like 25.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're dropping. We're dropping now.
Yeah. Let's see what happens if my face comes up. Instant drop to like 22.
What was the next topic you wanted to touch base on?
Well, I wanted to talk about more stocks, but I don't know if people are that interested in that. So one of the ones I'm looking at that Brian hates is a Chinese stock that just dumped hard on some kind of investor news. I think it's a manipulation tactic, and on a daily chart, this is a perfect buy signal for me, where it breaks out and then it reverses.
Let me switch to your screen.
Then. I think. Oh, we need to share my screen. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Let's. Again, I'm used to being in control of everything. Right now, I have zero control. Oh, okay. We're gonna switch to mine. Okay, I'll make a new video feed. Let me see. Let's do a new. I need to have my face. I spent 15 minutes setting up this thing.
Green screen.
The green screen. Yeah, I took me a whole 15 minutes. Okay. Okay, view.
Talking about guys, China,
technical difficulties here.
Yeah, about China, just to add, I added some Alibaba to my current holdings. I mean, maybe you can look. Yeah, if you look,
well, we should look at
that Baba chart. It's looking pretty sexy.
Yeah. All right. So let's pull up Baba first, and then we'll talk about
and then start with the weekly. Yeah. I mean, Brian isn't here, so we can talk China as much as we want now, without getting punished.
Yes. I just bought something. I just bought a scooter from Alibaba. Actually, it was great. Oh. It was very easy dealing with them. I mean, I just back searched the original company from the US. I'm like, okay, well, who is the supplier? Let me find them. Okay, then I found them, and then I just went and talked to them. I said, can I order? They said minimum quantity 100, and I just messaged them, chatted with them, like, can I order one? And I said, yeah, here's the price, and it was significantly higher, but at least I could get it. It was great. So I'm bullish on Alibaba. I had a very good experience with it.
Great.
Personally.
Well, yeah, it's interesting to see what your indicators are saying on this one. But what I especially like is the way the RSI is looking, that it really made a W coming out of oversold territory. The MACD flipped. We have divergence. We had a diversion on the MACD that confirmed. It's sitting a bit at the low end of its range. 50% level is sitting around 180, which is more than a double from this current level. And then to top it off, I did like the daily as well. It wasn't looking too bad either. So it's China, but besides that, this is my exposure to.
Is this listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange as well? Do you know if Alibaba is listed on the Hong Kong 50? Because I want to talk about so look.
It must be. This is one of the big ones.
Look at a weekly chart, okay, of like the NASDAQ 100. Okay, this is a NASDAQ 100. Now, look at the Hong Kong 50. Look at this chart.
Yeah.
And let me just get rid of it. Let me show you. Does this look like a more bullish version of your Alibaba chart, or is it just me?
Yeah. Well, what I like about Alibaba is that we have a bit more of a longer term bottom, it seems, that's forming. But it has a lot of resembling, of course, with the Hong Kong 50. But it seems to be a less more dampened or less volatile.
It's definitely less volatile for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is on the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the reason I wanted to mention Hong Kong 50 is because on a daily chart, this is at least on a weekly, this was a big breakout. Huge. And I could see this really rocketing up and heading way higher. So that's why I'm kind of looking at Chinese companies, because I think there could be a capital rotation out of some US stocks into Chinese stocks that have kind of bottomed. Because while the US market has been on a tear for the past year and a half, the Chinese market has been destroyed. And I think there's probably some bargains out there. So Alibaba is probably a decent name that you could buy under the New York Stock Exchange. And the same thing applies to this other Chinese company I'm looking at, NAAS, which is a electric vehicle charging company. China's going crazy with electric cars, as everyone probably knows here. Actually, I want to do a weekly chart.
And I believe in Hong Kong they had that very bad periods with properties not being able to find any buyers, and that seems to be getting a little bit of an uptick again. So I could also see people, selling more properties again, maybe rotating some capital from there in the stock market. Just an assumption, but it's not an awful looking chart indeed.
Yeah, no, I like the Baba chart. It's definitely less volatile. What I'm showing here is very volatile. But you can see even in August last year, it was like $7. So even if this can just get to a 50%, it's almost 300% return based on where it is right now. I mean, you can just set a buy right here, and then just put your long right below the recent. Damn, what is wrong with that stop? What is going on here? Is this a log scale? I want a regular scale. And you just set your stop right here, right below here. And boom, target and also the 200-day moving average. Just go below a little bit up to here. And you've got no, I want my buy to be down here. There you go, like that. And you've got like 11-to-1 risk reward.
Yeah. And
what
also like with the Alibaba thing, but I also like it's not just e-commerce or anything. They also do cloud services. And with the ongoing request to resources, I think that will help the company as well big time in 2024, 2025, where there will be more and more AI and rendering needs and computing power, because they do provide those cloud services as well.
Oh, that's interesting. So that is good to know. That could be a good revenue source, because I was thinking, like, how does Alibaba even really make much money? Because when I bought my product, at least, I didn't order it directly through Alibaba. I just talked to them on chat, and then I sent them payment off the platform, and I submitted the order through Alibaba, and everything's through Alibaba, but I didn't pay any fee.
Oh, your audio is breaking up again.
To Alibaba or send any payments through Alibaba. It was a direct bank transfer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, your audio was breaking up a little bit. But I don't know much about its e-commerce side, how they are doing there. But in terms of the Alibaba cloud, I mean, like Salesforce is a very well-known company, and they're partnering with Alibaba as well, Alibaba Cloud, to bring their software into China. And Alibaba is really big on like high computing power sources and search engines and Elasticsearch, which is one of those engines. load balancing, basically everything that you see Google offer and Amazon offer and Cloudflare offer. Alibaba Cloud has it all built in as well. So I think there's a big market for them still to explore and to grow. And they're also getting more EU friendly. They're following EU guidelines now. They're translating their website into more and more languages. I mean, you can see the product offerings of Alibaba Cloud in French now or in German. They're not doing that because they don't want to expand. I think this will be one of those that this will get a very big rally that we haven't like what we saw with Google Cloud and AWS. I don't think it's all priced in yet for Alibaba. So that's why I added it a little bit to my portfolio again.
Okay.
But that's my thesis. We'll see how that goes. Yeah.
I mean, it looks good. Chart-wise, it looks good to me. So yeah. I like it. So Alibaba for the safer play. If you want to gamble, take a little bit of my charging company, which I don't have as much fundamental information on as yours does, but my understanding is they're one of the biggest charging companies in China, and China's EV market is exploding. So obviously people are going to need places to charge their car. That's my only theory about this company, but do your own due diligence. Somebody asked about Tesla. Why don't we look at Tesla really fast? Tesla's been beaten down pretty hard, and then we'll just jump into crypto. I think we've been going for a while already, but we've got the after party coming up, so we can just continue there. Tesla kind of looks like crap, honestly, on a weekly chart. On a monthly even, it's not good. Yeah, Tesla. I actually don't like Tesla at all here. Well, Tesla, I think, can hit these lower targets here, 150, 130. Possibly fill these gaps down here. You're going to run into this trend line is going to act as a major resistance down here, 130. It's kind of all I'm seeing with Tesla. I thought it would look a little bit better than this, but no, I'm not seeing anything particularly appealing with Tesla here. Let me get rid of something, by the way.
It's also I only see negative news items about Tesla. Like yesterday, there was this article about a wife who drowned in her Tesla in a pond because she couldn't get out. And in the Netherlands, I see, she drowned in her Tesla. So and the rescuers couldn't get to her because of the safe glass. So they couldn't break the glass either. So that doesn't help. And also, like in the Netherlands, there's getting these reports about EVs and resale value. And Tesla is one of the worst brands. I believe it's like 14% or 15% that you lose in a single year after purchasing a Tesla. And a lot of that has to do with Elon Musk, that is just randomly decreasing its prices whenever he wants to.
And another, you know why he's doing that, right? Do you have? I have a theory on why.
What's the theory?
Because he's trying to compete with BYD, and BYD is trying to expand in every market. BYD recently overtook Tesla as the biggest electrical vehicle manufacturer in the world, and their prices are insanely cheap compared to Tesla's. I mean, I at least here I don't know if you have any BYDs in the Netherlands, but here in Thailand, all I see are BYDs everywhere now. Like I'll count them when I go out. I'm like, oh, BYD, there's a BYD, there's a BYD. They're everywhere. While Teslas, I just see occasionally.
Yeah, and if this entire rally in the crypto market, if I'm not able to cash some money out, I mean, instead of the Porsche, I can always go for the BYD Seal model. It's like a exact Porsche replica. I love it. So I can see why he's doing that.
Oh, you have it. You have it there.
Yeah, we have it, and it looks really nice.
How much is it there?
I believe 60,000 or something, 50,000.
60,000. Wow.
Yeah.
Here, I think it's just like I think it's like 40,000 here.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like someone's commenting, the insurance, especially in the EU, is very expensive because of the cost of a battery replacement. But also, like we have a system in the Netherlands where you're paying tax based on the weight of your vehicle. And EVs were always excluded, but they are going to include them. And that basically means that you're getting screwed if you have an EV and you're paying a lot of tax just because you have an EV. So these EVs are getting less and less popular over here. And people are also saying, like, if they do surveys now, the next vehicle will be a non-EV again, just because the government is stopping all these subsidies and increasing the tax on them. So it would make sense to me that Tesla's getting a hard time here, at least from within the EU.
I have a theory that because Elon bought Twitter, there's a massive campaign against him to destroy Tesla and all of his companies, so that they eventually he has to sell Twitter back. That's my theory, that they're trying to destroy him by destroying him financially in a way, by destroying his companies. But we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
So all right. Stuart obviously has no opinion on my tinfoil hat theory. Okay, so why don't we take a quick boo at Bitcoin, get Sjord's opinion and my opinion on Bitcoin really fast, and then we're going to jump into the after party. If you're interested on hearing about all the interesting altcoins that Sjord is looking at and my random opinion on random altcoins, you guys can join if you're not already a member. But if you are a member, I guess we'll see you there. But if you're not, it's free trial, so feel free, no cost. But let's look at Bitcoin really quick, and then we'll go to the after party, since we are out of time. So Bitcoin on a weekly chart, nonstop up only. I tried to add some chaos levels to these charts. So this was my last chaos level off this baby W down here, which you would see if you looked at it on a daily chart. And we're already hitting that 16.88 level. We pushed right through it. And I see there's no divergence here at all. It's just straight up only.
It's straight up.
Straight up with no breakdowns at all. Nothing on momentum that's really broken down. I had a little bit of a breakdown here, but it just came back and touched the underside. I don't see anything here to make me bearish yet. Are you seeing anything on your end, Sjord, that's got you a little bit nervous?
Well, the higher we get, the more nervous I get as well. But as long as volume is keeping up a little bit, I'm fine. And my RSI is still making higher lows. I mean, really is overbought, but yes, it has been since, what is it, like 40,000 or something, 45,000. I think that there's still more to rally. I sold 10% of my Bitcoin holdings at, I believe it was 51,000, something like that. So I wouldn't mind to retrace to buy them back. But at the same time, I could also just see this going up because the pain is definitely still to the upside.
Oh, 100%. Everyone I talk to wants it to go down.
Yeah, exactly. So, no special setups here for me to trade or act on at the moment. I will be taking or selling another 10% around 82,000, 85,000, somewhere in that area. I will be happy to let another 10% go. And then around the 100,000 level, I think we will get there eventually. I don't think we will ramp up right from here. But from those levels, I will be dollar cost averaging out my positions.
Yeah,
but
I think
we'll see.
I can't see a pullback until the stock market does something. The stock market has to pull back, and then I think you're going to get some kind of pullback in crypto. But I pulled up the monthly chart here to show how far this can go as far as like an RSI reading. So last time, before we topped out the first time with the parabolic run, RSI on a monthly chart got to 91. Right now, we're just at 77. So when we were at 77 last time, Bitcoin was just at about, let me see, 77. Yeah, Bitcoin was around the $25,000 area. And it didn't top out until it hit 60. So if we extrapolate to the same here, that leads to probably 100, 120,000 level before it hits that 90 on the RSI, similar level.
And also I mentioned this before. Yeah, I also mentioned this before. Like if you incorporate inflation, then the all-time high of Bitcoin is 77,000. So we're not even at an all-time high if you would take into account inflation. So
that is a good idea to include.
Yeah, I think we should include that when we're talking about Bitcoin going to the old all-time highs. So
I think we used to divide it by money supply, right? Money M2 to supply. How I forget how that looks. M2W. Did they get rid of it? Money supply. I used to look at the M2. US M2. Okay, so, but I think it's a global thing now, so this probably doesn't.
US M2, it seems.
Yeah. Well, at least if we look at just the US, it looks like it has exceeded the money supply in terms of that. But that's why I think it doesn't work anymore. You have to look at the global money supply because Bitcoin is not just a US thing, it's a global thing, right? I don't even know how we would. They need to create like a global liquidity index. That would be nice. All right, so guys, I think we've got to end the show here now. We'll continue. I think we've got to talk about Bitcoin a little bit more in the after party, but I think we should end the private show here, and then we'll jump into the after party, and then we've got all the time in the world to talk to you guys about anything you want to talk about, especially Bitcoin, of course. Stuart, any closing comments or words for the public audience?
Nope. Stay safe out there. Not okay. Much else. And in the after party, I need to rush a little bit because of pancake time, but we'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
I want to quickly touch base on Woon. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. See you guys in the after party. And yeah, well, if you're not part of TRI, 30-day trial, free. Join. See you there. Bye, guys.
Bye.